Hey, this is Chris from Patterns, and I'm going to give you a short demo today. Patterns is a analytics platform for self-serve analytics. So we build AI agents, well, rather you build AI agents. You connect your data to our platform. Any simple database connection will do, and we do a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, and you can start asking questions and get results. We are not a text to SQL tool. We do use text to SQL behind the scenes, but we are much more than that. Our AIs will automatically query your database, recover from problems and results, and analyze results. And yeah, so in the short video, I'm going to, well, it's not gonna be a short video actually. I'm gonna give myself an hour budget to see how far I can get in analyzing a single data set. So I'm gonna be coming into a platform that has no context on it. I'm gonna build the context. I'm gonna show you all the different capabilities of the AI. This is not scripted. We're just gonna shoot from the hip here and see what we can do. So yeah, the platform that we're gonna be working with today. So I'm gonna go through a brand new account creation flow. I have a bunch of bots here already. I'm gonna be creating another one of these bank bots. So let's create a new bot. Let's name it Minionaire, like millionaire, but Minionaire because this bot is my analytics minion. Now we're gonna do our bank bot. Yep, cool, awesome. Now I'm gonna tell it to have access to all of the tables in my public schema. So we have CRM events, credit cards, location districts, CRM, more events, call center logs, and transactions, loans. So this is a bank issues loans, issues credit cards, processes transactions. So what I'm gonna do here is, I actually have a bunch of demo questions here laid out already. So we're gonna do very simple, easy count of transactions by month type things, and then get to more hard and complex, and then some open-ended questions that the AI, for example, like what are some common issues raised in clients and how can we address these? At the very end, I'm gonna tell the AI to generate some 20 questions, and we're gonna see if it can answer its own questions it generates for itself. So yeah, a little bit about the platform. So yeah, I mean, pretty simple. You just start asking questions. What the AI does is it is going to create a plan on how to answer this question and then start writing the SQL, execute the query. We'll see kind of how it goes here. So I'm not doing anything here. It's just executing this, analyzing the response. It has access to the data. The response has a sample of data, so it has about 10 rows of that data, so it can sense check it. It's going to summarize the findings, and then it should generate a line chart here. And then after it's done all its work, it's going to summarize its work once more, and then it's going to deliver a report into this interface right here. Cool, looks good. So while it's doing this, I'm going to onboard a couple more items. Oh, there we go. Cool, done. So I can toggle this work on and off here. If I wanted to, I could go here and say, make it a bar chart. I'm not going to do that because it'll actually just redo the whole query. But if I wanted to do that, I could. I could also do that here. Make it a bar chart instead. And it should just redo what's happening behind the hood here. It's Vega Lite, so it's just rewriting this code. So the most notable thing here is what we have created, which is an analysis. So we have code, we have data that's the output of that code, a SQL, and then we also have a chart to summarize everything. Now I can actually click here and I can go into more context here. And so this is a view of this query. Here's a description of it, here's the code. I can do a bunch of stuff here. I can export this to a CSV. I can download this file, this image, so I can do anything with it. I can actually go into the edit button here and actually behind the scenes can edit the SQL. So if you want to manually write queries and edit queries, you can do that as well. And the same thing stands for Vega Lite. You're able to actually manipulate the code behind the scenes. But the most notable thing is that you can save these queries. And when you save the queries, they get added to your query repository, which has which then gets added back into your prompt context. And so the next time you ask a question like this, It will either retrieve this query if it's similar, or it will use this query as a basis for formulating a next question. So I'm going to onboard a couple more capabilities here. So we actually have this knowledge base, which allows you to put in arbitrary documents. And right now I will port over some docs that I had in another bot that I was experimenting with a couple minutes ago. So that was named Bank Expert. And yeah, to onboard you to some context about what we're doing here. So this first one here is going to be about the data set that we have connected to it. So the AI already reads through all of your data tables, knows all the foreign key joins, knows all the types, all the schemas, but it doesn't have business context. So you have to give this to the AI. So this is actually an open source data set that I found on the internet, Kaggle, which deals with bank, retail bank. So about 5,000 clients, 1 million transactions, 700 loans, 900 credit cards. And here's some particulars with how this data set works. We won't go into detail there, but I added a couple things. I wanted it to know that the data in the database is from 2013 to 2018, in case you ask questions like what was payments looking like last month. That would try to query for the current date minus 30 days. Another thing I want to onboard here is AI functions. So pretty cool feature by Snowflake recently, where you can basically have the AI call an LLM across an entire data table. So imagine if you had some customer complaints and you wanted to generate responses to these complaints in mass. You'd be able to be like, hey, AI, please read through all of the customer complaints in the last 3 days, and let's lift them over. Let's not lift them over. Let's generate responses for them. So I'm going to copy this over here. So I'm kind of imbuing it with a skill at this point. And so you can do this with anything. So if you have user-defined functions in your database that you want to be able to work with, you can just really simply give it an example of what it does and write out a query for it, and it should work fine. What I'm also going to give it is going to be, I have some preferences. And so I want this to feel like it is Lehman Brothers. So I asked ChatGPT, I was like, hey, ChatGPT, if you were to create a color scheme for Lehman Brothers and do it in Vega Light, what would that be? And so it has given me these instructions on some fonts and some color schemes to use. So Vega Light color preferences, gonna drop that right here. And then there's one more thing. Here's some advanced Vega Light features. We should probably put these in the master prompt that we control, but if you're drawing a map, you need to use this specific JSON blob, GeoJSON blob for being able to draw triangles. So if you need to know what California looks like, this will provide the data for that. And then you can do really cool things in Vega Light with regard to building filters. So if you want to filter your visuals as well. And so I'm going to add these as well into that same document that we just color preferences, and just dump that there. Let's just say Vega Light visualization preferences. Cool. Boom. Got everything. Okay, so let's get back to work here. I should have all the context that I need. There's a couple more things that I'll just do really quickly. So if I go to my data table, I have just high level instances of where I describe what is. So behind the scenes, it already gets the AI, the master prompt already gets the context of the schema and everything. Sometimes it doesn't know what this column frequency describes. I don't have column definitions here. If you actually had them, they'd pipe in. So I'm just doing a hacky thing here and using this escape hatch of a generic way to document a table. So I'm gonna do this really quick and just copy and paste all these over. All right, so now that we've onboarded all of this context here, so clients, each record describes a client, loans, we have something here for what A stands for, no problems, contract finished, so on and so forth. All right, now let's start firing away some questions and working with the bot. Okay, so we already did this one, 10 transactions per month. This is gonna be similarly easy, but I'll show you kind of the scale at which you can operate with this thing. So let's just start firing some questions at it. Draw a line chart that looks at net cash inflows, outflows for the bank for the past 60 days. Sure. Show me time series of the balance for customer 998. Sure. Cool. Let's start with that. Let's actually do this one. Total credits, total debits. So analyze account creation trends. Boom. Visualizations. Boom. Perfect. All right, let's save this. Saved. Requests. Tracking daily response rate. Timely response is 8. Total response is 11. Response rate. Cool. Let's save that. Bank cash flow chart request. Net cash inflows, net cash outflows. It's still summarizing here. Yeah, so we're gonna save this because I know this is what I want, but it'll generate a final report. There we go, perfect. And so, yeah, I mean, this is honestly designed to be a deliverable to a non-technical stakeholder. So, yeah, it hasn't done a critical analysis of this, but let's ask it. So like, please analyze these trends. The AI can see the chart, so it can, and it has access to the data as well. So it's able to do more than just like describe what the SQL is doing. It can actually be like, oh, this looks like, this is what is this? This is December 3rd. This is or November 3rd as well. So it looks like, yeah, there's maybe some inflows on a monthly basis here. Same thing with outflows. So yeah, maybe potentially fairly predictive. And then let's also extrapolate this. Actually, no, please analyze these trends. I actually don't want to do that. I want to analyze these trends over a 360-day period because this is only 60 days. It's not a lot. Okay, cool. Let's jump around again and look at what we're doing. Okay, requests for account balance data. Okay, so this is the one for customer 98. Okay, so what our AI did, queried the table, generated a chart. Here's the table, here's the chart. This looks like a real account balance. Yeah, rotate x-axis, labels by 945 degrees, boom. Perfect, save it. Okay, what else do we have here? Charting daily credits and debits. Okay, looks like it's running into some problems here. Oh, it did it. It did it. Helpful context. Okay, so it did it, but what it didn't do, it's just too much data, so that's why it can't summarize it. This is like literally 100 thousands of data points in this UI, and so it's kind of breaking. You can see that's what that means there. I don't know if it's going to be able to filter this. Let's see if it can. Let's add a filter for date, make it a slider, and make it look back at the number, filter out, filter in view the past X days. So if the slider is 90, the chart renders. Let's see if this works. Bummer, didn't work. Okay, let's do it here. Let's look at only the past 90 days. Okay, cool. So while it's doing this, let's move on to some things. Okay, so we gave it we did the easy questions. Now let's give it some hard questions. Okay, so let's look at retention of credit card customers, calculate cohorts for how many are active, have transactions in a given month. Okay. Yeah, so I'm curious what it's going to do here. I actually have an expected follow-up. I want it to do everything as a percentage of customers, and then I'm going to specify the visualization. I don't think it's gonna do this to begin with. While that one's thinking, let's jump back to here. Let's analyze the transaction patterns of this one particular customer. All right. Active customers per month. So it's got to do a join between credit cards, dispositions, and transactions. Nice, it's done that. Let's do a visualization of this and also produce another query chart that looks at percentage active customers. So those having done a transaction in a month versus cohort totals onboarded. Okay, cool. Let's go back to the other one. Two line charts, total debits, total credits. All right, running some errors here. Okay, create the public transactions table, combine line chart to visualize total debits, total credits over the past 90 days. Yeah, okay, so it's doing this current date thing because it's 2024 and the data is back in 2018. It's not gonna work. Check the date range, cool, it did that. Okay, so it fixed the date from, what I told it in the context. So it's got debits, it doesn't have any credits. Yeah, okay, I know this is why, because I don't believe I have in the debits table, in the transactions table, each record described as one transaction on an account. And what I also want to do is the amount for each transaction, whether debit or credit, is positive. So when querying for transaction amount, be sure to normalize or add a negative, i.e. in the case of calculating a net value. Okay, so go back to this one, charting daily credits and debits. Let's ask this question just again. All right, customer retention, how are we doing? Cool. So this is just number of active customers on cohort. Okay, so they took the cohort date. So let's take this, 2014, for instance. And it just counted the number of customers that took a transaction that month, which is what I told it to do, number of active customers by cohort. Okay, now percentage of active customers by cohort. This also looks oh nice, it did a filter here. Okay, this isn't, this is good. Is this true that in cohort size is 3 and all 3 of those customers have a transaction that month? Yeah, this looks right. But I don't really want this visualization. can we look at it as a heat map? So cohort on y-axis and active customer percentage on x-axis, and let's make it a gradient blue. Okay. Moving on back to our demo questions. Okay, we're doing those two. Yeah, let's ask if it just pulled stats related to these CRM events, which is identity theft and fraud, and show how it's trended over time. And let's see if I can save any more of these queries. Okay, so I have, the more queries I save, the more information the AI has about the business. And so by just saving queries, the AI gets a sense of like what I may be interested in. And so it can propose more ideas to me when I ask it for some ideas. So in a minute, I'm gonna ask it to generate 20 questions for me. But before I do that, I'm gonna go back and save some queries that seem like they may be relevant. Okay, so this is still having an issue. Query transactions table, debits, credits. Okay, I know this is not right because credit is with an uppercase C. Yeah, we have fixes for this in the pipeline. It also has this issue here. And okay, so it just ran out of retries because it has too many issues. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give it this. So credit, debit are capitalized. And look at 90 days since 2018. Yeah, what's the cutoff date here? 2018, 12/31. Since 2018, 12/31. Okay, hopefully this should work, but yes, so right now this is a bug. The SQL writer does not actually have access to the data when it writes SQL. Only the SQL corrector does. So we are fixing that. And then also, yeah, this like last 90 days issue shouldn't come up because if you're querying current data, it's gonna be correct. Okay, now that we have that, let's go back to look at this financial crime data trends. Okay, cool. Yeah, same issue here that ran it again, but it did recover from itself. So it tried to write this code like this, or this, but it's actually in the database all one. And so, found that out by checking that column and rewrote it. And now here's the trend. Great, overall increase, peak. Thank you. Go back to our cohort. No, I don't want to filter. Got it right again, but I don't want to filter. Cool. Oh, here we go. Can we look at a heat map? So quarter on x-axis, x-axis on y, make it gradient blue. Yeah, no filter. Let's see if we can just fix it here. It's got 4,000 results. Let's see if this works. So yeah, it fails. Now, so what I do in this situation is I can continually work with it more and more and more and get it right. And then once I save it, it's not gonna make the same mistake over again. So this is part of the onboarding process that anyone has to do. Customer card retention, we were just looking at that. turn in debits and credits. Okay, boom, perfect. Yeah, I mean, it took the hint, but it was able to, from the hint, be able to work. Yeah, so it got the query right. Here's the code. And that's the right visualization. Remove the dots. Okay, so yeah, stats related to embezzlement and fraud, trends in financial crime. Yeah, this was it. Cool, so now let's do some generative features. So by that I mean stuff that means that has open-ended analysis. So like why questions, like why did this go up? And like, I don't know, stuff like I want to create flags for fraudulent activity. How should I do this? Another one is like using the LLM functions in the database. Like, what are some common issues raised by clients? And then how can we address these? And so this is like asking it to, look at and analyze the data and like within a single column of SQL be able to generate a solution for how we could potentially do this. So let's see how it does on this one. Let's also fire it at this one. And then, yeah, I mean, we already did some cohort analysis that we're still working on, but like, let's just like ask it this open-ended question, like how can we look at health of different cohorts? And then, yeah, I'm gonna use this as a basis to, actually, let's go through all these other ones and save these down and then ask this last question here, which is like, generate 20 hard complex questions as a product manager that I may want to ask this data. Okay, so going back into credit card retention, did it get it right? Okay, better. But why are there these bands? Cohort month. Transaction month. I think it's visualizing it wrong. The data's right. Try improving this. Okay, well, I don't want to dwell on this. It's not going to get it right. This is a hard question. So that was a credit card retention, debits and credits. Okay, so save this down. Yeah, so I'm going back to this request. So every single time I save something down, it adds a little pill here, right? So I can see it on the right-hand side, or I can see it as connected to the chat. Okay, so we won't save down the viz for this, but what we will do is we'll just save down this data because this is helpful. Handling client complaints. Okay, so what did it do? Query the tables. Generate a bar chart to visualize the top issues. Summaries of findings. So we look like account opening, closing, our most frequent deposits and withdrawals, problems being caused by my funds low, using a debit card. Cool. Yeah, maybe for the top 5, please generate some strategies to reduce complaints. Okay, so it could do 2 things here because it has like both these functionalities. It can just analyze what the top 5 are. Or what it can do is it can actually use a generative function via Snowflake in doing this. Okay, so it's not, maybe it will do it just like by generating a summary or a call LLM. I'm actually not sure what it's going to do. But we can invoke that LLM call in another feature down the road. So that's handling client complaints, creating fraud detection flags. To create flags for fraud to identify transactions that meet certain criteria. Create the transactions table. Fraud flag, withdrawal credit. Okay, so it's going to just hide volume transactions now. I don't like this. It shouldn't be writing this. I'm want to create, not flags. What should I look at if I were to investigate fraudulent activity? Okay, customer health data. Analyze metrics, account creation. Okay, so it's just doing an overall summary of all this stuff. So first it did summary of findings, account creation trends, monthly transaction counts, monthly loan distributions, CRM events, and a summary. Okay, and it's just failing at visualizing all this stuff. Let's just give it another shot. Yeah, so note to self, yeah, we have a lot of viz capabilities that we need to improve on. Okay, let's ask the question now. Actually, first, before we do this one, I'm going to show you a demo of the generative response capabilities. Okay, so in the table, we have CRM events, CRM call center logs. And I believe we have a column here. Nope. CRM events, issue subproduct, company response. Yeah, it's gonna be this reviews one. Okay, so we have reviews of the company. No, but we want the complaint narrative. Okay, here we go, yeah. Customer complaint narrative. Let's find one that at least has some data in it. Because we don't get many complaints, that's good. Okay, well, it's there. So for customer complaints, please select the most recent CRM events that have, were they CRM events? Yep, CRM events. Please select most recent CRM events that have complaints, narratives, and please generate nice, empathetic responses. The 10 most recent, nice, empathetic responses to each complaint. Okay, so in this one, it should do a simple SQL query that will look up the most recent ones and then use the AI function complete, Snowflake completion, probably use Mistral AI, we'll see what it uses to do that. Okay, so it queried it. Now it's gonna generate the empathetic response. Hey, here we go. All right, so I'm actually on video right now. Cool. Shooting a video, hour-long one. All right. Okay, so the customer complaint, they deposited some money. Bank of America, they can't have it for 2 weeks because of XYZ, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm really sorry to hear about the trouble you're experiencing. It's incredibly frustrating. It's important to remember that I, as an AI, cannot take direct action to resolve this issue. Okay, let's maybe tell it to redo this last one. Yeah, never state that you are an AI, you are Jack, a CS agent at Eagle North Bank, and please keep your responses too short. Okay, cool. So yeah, prompt engineering, you have to have a couple takes at it. Okay, we'll come back to this. Analyzing customer health data. total customers in each cohort, active customers. Okay, so got this right now. Yeah, this was the one where I just retried all over again and I got it right. So let's just save these down. And then this one too, creating fraud detection flags. Okay, so another SQL error. Oh, it's because it's trying to reference this existing query. Okay, so those are those two, and that one's still working. Okay, coming back here. All right, let's ask it to generate some questions now. Let's see how this one's going. Trouble you're experiencing with your deposit, I can only imagine how stressful, and can assure you that we're not here to cause any inconvenience or hardship. I'd like to help you resolve as quick as possible once I have the details. Cool, great. So now what I could do is I could just download this as a CSV and do anything with it. Yeah, in the future, yeah, maybe we implement some actions. We can just send the email, but not right now. And here's the whole report. Yeah, let's just save this down for whatever reason, teach the AI how to use this function in this code. Okay, cool. Coming back to the complex questions. Okay, so Millionaire here is going to analyze existing SQL queries to identify common themes. It's going to compile a list of 20 complex open-ended questions and going to review them to ensure that they are challenging and open-ended. Okay, so it basically, so it didn't actually write this SQL over again. Because we've saved this one before, what it's doing is actually, in its prompt, it has a list of all the current queries it has access to, and so it's just pulling these and putting references into them. So this actually doesn't put any incremental load on your database, it's just pulling a table that it already has created. So look, it did this for a bunch of different things: activity summary, monthly transaction counts, total debits and credits. So it's doing a pretty exhaustive summary of all the stuff that I just taught it. Okay, now the questions. Customer segmentation, health and performance, product performance, risk management and compliance. Okay, these are great. This is a lot. Okay, let's fire these off. So yeah, I am at 47 minutes of this total demo now. Let's see how many of these we can get through in that time period. I'm gonna open up a new tab so I can keep my place there. Boom. So yeah, super open-ended question. I don't know if it's gonna get this. What are key factors that influence customer retention and loyalty? We need a definition of customer retention and loyalty first. Interest rates doesn't have that. Impact account balances over time. How they correlate economic indicators don't have economics. Highest adoption rates among different customer segments. That's a good question. Promotional campaigns don't have them. Common reasons for loan defaults. Let's see how it can do this. Oops. Adoption rates, promotional, risk management, compliance, CRM. One of the common issues and complaints. That's a good one. Operational bottlenecks. Good question. Trends in transaction volumes, sure. Okay. So now let's go back and go through these one by one and see how they go. Customer segment behavior insights. Analyze customer trends, segment on age, transaction behaviors, analyze product usage. Sounds good. Okay, income level doesn't have it. Segment by age, income level. I believe this is data. Clients. Social, email, all fake data, don't worry. Oh, nope, doesn't have income level. We got this error, suggest a fix. Okay, so it just did it without it. Great. Okay, so it pulled individual, so just basically just bucketed these customers, and then with that bucket, it did an aggregate. Cool. Summary of SQL findings from SQL execution. Cool. So 55 has the highest number of transactions. Younger customers show significant transaction activity in New York and Chicago. Major cities. Depends comprehensive. Okay, so what's this other step that it's doing here? Analyze product usage for each segment. So it did this one. Sorry, it did this one. And this one. And it's doing this one now. Product usage, number of loans, number of cards. Group by all this stuff, right? Cool. I'd say it shipped this one. Can you do any cool visuals? All right. So that was this one. Now let's do customer retention insights. Looks like it's still working here. Retention rate, analyze loan status, determine if loan status impacts retention and loyalty, great. Analyze card usage patterns, determine if card usage impacts, CRM. Okay, so it's doing, so knowing what it knows about retention, it's now basically building individual queries for loan analysis impact, card analysis impact, and CRM interactions. High with decline, older cohorts drop, recent higher, makes sense. Active customers. Visa Signature has higher retention rates with consistent retention. Visa Standard moderate, Visa Infinite lowest. Good to know. Keeps running this client ID error. Invalid identifier, CR client ID. CR is CRM reviews. CRM reviews. Yeah, it doesn't have a client ID. Okay. Retention insights. Okay, so failed because we asked it a big question, but it got us a lot of information. We can't actually do these CRM reviews because the join doesn't exist. So let's just tell it to, look at card and loan usage only. Retention, seasonal, and saving patterns. Yeah, I got this same thing wrong again. Bank cash flow drivers. Okay, this one's complete. Daily net cash flow analysis. Okay, so on a daily basis, inflows, outflows. to allow flows look like negative. This is all good work, so I'm just gonna actually go here. Tool out flows looks negative. Check your query. Those cash flow drivers. Okay, financial product adoption rate. Number of customers with loans and credit cards. So this is actually what's they're looking at the other query is looking at the same thing. Total number of customers in each segment. Cool. So females age 12, there's only one customer. Females age 20 in District 41, there's only one customer. Adoption rates. Summary of insights. Okay, so don't only look at age and sex. Drop the district segment. And remember to produce some visuals. Financial product adoption rates, loan defaults risk mitigation. Cool. Okay, 58 minutes now. Linking default rates to client demographics. Yeah, is this one working? Sorry, finding SQL executions. Okay, so this one looks like it's still executing. Yeah, these look good. I mean, even though this one's not. Oh, there it is. Yeah, still executing. Financial product adoption rates, loan defaults, addressing bank customer issues. Most common issues raised by customers. Cool. Generating empathetic responses again. Cool. Optimizing bank operations. Yeah, this is a hard one. Okay, so what did it try to do? Analyze transaction processing times, evaluate customer service response times, assess loan processing times, loan application and loan approval. Yeah, I think this is in the CRM data. It's pretty cool. Looks like we just ran into SQL query issues everywhere. So the timestamp is not recognized. Okay, so now looking at the trends in transaction volumes across different types of channels. Use the plan, generate a line chart. Cool. Perfect. Credits, debits. So they overlaid credits on debits. Okay. Transaction volume. So this is total transaction count, and then this is the amount. So that's why it's dual axis. It's a nice chart. Let's save this one. Okay, we are up at an hour now, and yeah, not everything is complete, but hopefully this gave you a sense of the product and how it works. Yeah, if you'd love to give it a shot, please let me know. Thanks. Bye.